Anyway, this is a continuation. Fucking phone call interrupted my shit. So anyway, punk shit. Okay, going around shooting indiscriminately in the hood because you chasing down a rival or whatever the case may be is punk shit. Because you have no regard for anyone else that is around or living in that area. You have no regard for the children living there. You have to listen. Beyond that. But this is the thing. When a cop kills someone indiscriminately, right? When the cop kills an unarmed suspect or an unarmed individual who unprovoked, right? You know, they get paid administrative leave. If they're known to have done it, they get 9 times out of 10, they get paid administrative leave. They don't even get indicted most of the time. You understand? And these are the people that are charged with rolling through the streets with a gun and a badge and a bulletproof vest that have a responsibility to keep order and peace in that area, right? Well, that's the illusion. That's the impression, right? The Supreme Court says differently, but that's a different story. The fact of the matter is this. When you give someone like that a gun and a badge and you give them a car and you tell them to roll through the neighborhood, they have to be held to a higher standard. Anybody you give that responsibility to needs to be held at a higher standard. You cannot compare them to a gang member who listen, you can't, because their job, the police officer's job, is to lock people up for crimes, right? Is to punish people for crimes, or to be an enforcement arm of the executive branch vis-a-vis the legislative branch, because the legislative branch creates the laws, the cops enforce the laws. Really, they enforce them. Basically, they punish people for breaking these arbitrary laws. All right. Now, that's the difference. When a cop gets caught committing murder, most of the time they get off. Most of the time they don't even get indicted. Most of the time they don't even get arrested. Most of the time they end up right back on the streets with a gun and a badge again. If a gang member or Pookie in the neighborhood gets caught killing someone, they go to prison. That's the difference. I don't understand where the disconnect is. All right. I don't understand what the disconnect is. Now let's get into no one caring when black on black crime is committed in the hood. That's the false narrative that keeps black people down. You understand? That's one of them. One of them. The number one thing that keeps us down is the ongoing violence and the conditions in our neighborhoods. All right. And what are those conditions? Poverty. Where there's poverty, there's crime. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Indian, Asian, right? Where there's poverty, there's crime. And guess what else? Where there's money, there's crime. Crimes are committed on Wall Street, where the rich folks are. You think they don't commit crime? You think they don't victimize people as they go about their daily lives, trying to become millionaires and billionaires, try to help their friends become millionaires and billionaires? The fact of the matter is this. Everyone commits crime. Everyone commits murder of every race. Murder is not exclusive to one race. Why don't white crime exist? If you want to go there, white folks, most of the people that kill white folks are white folks. Most of the people that kill black folks are black folks. Asians, Hispanics, Hispanics. That's just you know what I'm saying? That's just a fact of the matter. They live together, and if they're impoverished, they live together in impoverished neighborhoods. That's the fact. You understand? So let's not act like black on black crime is a real thing. It's not. It's an impoverished person on an impoverished person crime. On that level of crime right there, right? Drug dealing, robbing, burglary, grand theft auto, all those types of crimes happen because, guess what? Poverty. In an impoverished neighborhood, you might get robbed because you have a little bit more money than the individual that's going to rob you. You might not even have more money. They just greedy, and they want to make sure they can feed whoever they want to feed. Now, when it comes to gang banging, it's a little different. Gang banging is about territory. It's about colors. It's about this, that, and the third. It's bullshit, right? You're killing each other over a color in the street. It's bullshit. It's complete and utter nonsense and retarded. When I was 11, 12 years old, the riot started, right, in LA. I didn't understand what was going on. I mean, I knew, right? Rodney King got beat to shit. But even before that age, I understood that gang banging was the dumbest shit in the world. When I understood the concept, I was like, this is some dumb shit. I'm going to kill you because you wearing a certain color. It's retarded. But we have to understand how gang banging started. I understand that. I understand the conditions that brought us to this point. Right? It started with the Black Panther Party. What was the Black Panther Party doing? The Black Panther Party was a community outreach program. They weren't they weren't this militia type situation until they were pushed into that situation, right? They started the WIC program, right, for children and women. They had a community outreach program. And when the drugs started becoming a problem, they started patrolling and they started getting rid of the drug problems in their neighborhood. They were instrumental at that time in not allowing the black communities to suffer from drug abuse. Then what happened? COINTELPRO happened. The FBI could not have this type of shit going on, where we were keeping our own community safe and building our own community and keeping the drugs out of our community and keeping the bad cops from terrorizing our community. They couldn't have that. Who else couldn't have that? Particularly in California. Ronald Reagan couldn't have that. The NRA couldn't have that. So they came up with the Mulford Act, right? Mulford came up with this act to ban open carry in California so that we could patrol our own neighborhoods, keep it safe. Then the drugs started getting flooded in 10 times more. All right? And that's where people like my mother came in. My mother was what they call a gladiator back in those days. A gladiator, it was like a gang, but they weren't really, they sold heroin. All right? They sold heroin. And they used the Crips to help sell that heroin, who then became the Crips later on. But the point is this. While we were pushed into these conditions, we took it upon ourselves to also push it. So we're also responsible for destroying our own neighborhoods. Believe you me, I understand that. We didn't have to take the drugs. We didn't have to sell them. We didn't have to use the drugs. But you have to understand what was going on too. Black men were being stripped from the home. Mothers became desperate. The children became a victim of that desperation. All right? It's all a cycle. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. You destroy the family, and that's the whole agenda, to destroy family. To destroy the nuclear family, destroy man, woman, and child. That's what they want to destroy. Every time you destroy that, you have issues. You understand? All right. So now that we have that understanding, don't we? The conditions, yes, we are responsible partly for the conditions that we're in. Because guess what? We didn't have to take those drugs, Free Ray Rick, and sell it to our own people. We didn't have to take the drugs, right? But before, there was heroin that wasn't so stepped on. Now it's stepped on. It became more and more stepped on, became more and more chemicalized, just like the cocaine. It became crack. So now you're putting a more destructive drug out there. You're addicted to the cocaine, can't really afford the cocaine because it's so expensive. So in order to make it spread, they cut it. They cut it with baking soda and all these chemicals to spread it out so that they can sell more of it and get more money. So now you got crack, you got freebasing. There you go right there with the destruction. All right? I understand all these things. So let's get that understanding out of the way. And let's talk about the meat of it. Let's get to the meat of things. No one gives a shit about black on black crime in our neighborhoods, huh? Word? Okay. That's what you think, huh? Is it that no one cares? Or is it that the media doesn't highlight the people who care? Which one is it? Which one do you think it is? Do you think the media wants to push how people are actually out there actively trying to stop black on black crime, are involved in gang intervention programs, involved in stop the violent movements? You think the media wants to highlight that? No, because it does no good. It doesn't help their narrative. It's not divisive enough. They don't want people to get behind it. So they're not going to highlight that. They're going to highlight the Derek Chauvins. They're going to highlight the Trayvon Martins. They're going to highlight the Amber Geigers and all that. Because it's divisive. I thought we were smarter than that. I thought we understood that. But I got to help y'all understand it, don't I? Well, let me help you. Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help. I'm here to help people understand, since there seems to be so much confusion. You understand? There seems to be so much confusion. All right, let's get it straight. There are people who care. There are marches. There are protests. There are fundraising programs to help stop the violence. There are community center programs. There are all kinds of programs. There are all kinds of movements to try to stop the violence, to try to stop gang on gang violence, black on black, impoverished on impoverished crime. There is. I know several people who are involved with it. I'm going to highlight a few. Big John, all right? Big John. John Harriel. He was a gang member growing up. He was a blood gang member. All right? From the east side. He was a gang member from the east side in LA. He was running drugs to and from Chicago. He got caught. Did 8 years in Chicago. He got out, turned his life around, became an electrician with the IBW. He started Second Call with another former gang member. All right, Flip. Another blood gang member. Flip. Second Call. That's an organization that is trying to stop the violence, that is trying to push these young people in the right direction to have them doing something productive. Dozens. They took dozens of potential gang members, young kids that were gang members, helped turn their life around, got them jobs in the electricians union. Okay? He helped me get in. He helped me get into IBW. It's hard to get in. You got to take a test. You got to get interviewed. You got to get on the wait list. But because he had this program, he was able to help young black men and women get into the trade that were going down the wrong path. And there's also the We Build program. Same kind of thing. He was connected to the We Build program. I went through the We Build program as a U.S. Army veteran who was trying to transition into civilian life to get a civilian job. But as an infantryman, not much translates into the civilian world as an infantryman, except for a police department or something like that. Police department, fire department, something like that. He helped me get in the electrician union. He helped a lot of black men and women get into the electricity union that grew up in the hood. How many of y'all heard about that? How many of y'all heard about John Harriel, Big John, and Flip Townsend? Flip Townsend's a little bit more well known. My mom knows Flip Townsend. My mom knows Big John. That's how I met him. Because my mother is involved in that type of shit. Stop the violence, gang prevention stuff. Have you heard of Valerie Goodlow? Have you heard of Window? Let me know. You heard of Window? You heard of Second Call? Big John Harriel? Flip Townsend? Y'all let me know. Does the media put them out there? Y'all heard of Gang Girl? A documentary? That's a documentary my mother did. Because guess what? When I went to the Army, before I went to the Army, my little sister, they call her Lady KO. My little sister was a young, dainty little girl who liked Justin Bieber and Justin Timberlake and had posters, and she was a good little girl. She was a little Muslim girl going to a Muslim school. I go to the Army, I come back, she's a flipping gang member. She done joined the gang. First, she was with Black P. Stones, a blood gang in the jungles, right? They call it the jungles, over there by Baldwin Hills. She broke off from Black P. Stone and then joined Inglewood Family, or Crenshaw Mafia, another blood gang. All right? She had a notorious reputation. My mother was trying to help her come out of that BS. And not just her, but girls in gangs in general. So she came up with Gang Girl, a documentary where she highlighted her journey to try to get her daughter out of the gang life. And she went to all these gang neighborhoods. She went to all these projects, Jefferson Downs, right? She went to Watts, all these different places. Got escorted and all that. She did it the right way. She did some filming. She talked to these girls. She helped pull some of these girls out of this violence. Right? Because she wanted to start with the girls. She wanted to understand how girls could get involved in this type of thing. So she did that. She went out there and made it happen. All right? So, the documentary Gang Girl, how many of y'all heard about that? She tried to get it blown up. She tried to get it put out there. She presented it to several news organizations. As a matter of fact, one news organization did touch on it a little bit. But that's about it. It was a touch. Oh, let's touch on it a little bit. She tried to take it to HBO. She tried to take it to Showtime. It was a very well done documentary. Very well done. How many of y'all heard about that? So now it's not just about getting the girls. You heard of Bill Duke? The black guy, Bill Duke, and then also the guy from The Wire. I forgot his name. He was the mayor in The Wire. If you guys know what The Wire is, he was the mayor, the black dude, the black mayor in The Wire before that white dude took over. Right? The white dude became the mayor later on. If you know The Wire, you know what I'm talking about. She got together with him. He had a camp. You know what I'm saying? A black rodeo camp where my mother, along with him, would take all these young women, all these girls that were in gangs from different gangs, Crips, Bloods, hell, even some Serranos and some Hispanicos. You understand what I'm saying? Some Latinas. Took them all out to this camp. I forgot what she called it. I forgot what it was called. But she took them all out. And they learned how to ride horses. They learned how to groom horses. They learned how to bale hay. They learned how to do this, do that. They lived out, they were out in the country for days at a time. They talked about things. They enjoyed themselves. And they got away from that gang life. And they understood what it was like to get out of it. Have y'all heard about that? Oh, no? Oh, no. No one gives a fuck, right? Okay, let's keep going. So what happens? My sister, it's tough. It's tough to, my sister was so entrenched in that gang life that it was real tough. She was, she was so bad to the point where she could not go anywhere. She was getting shot at everywhere. You understand? Everywhere. Like, she had that type of reputation with the Crips. Like, A-Tray is right next to the Crenshaw Mafia. They had a little truce going on. Matter of fact, they pieced it up a little bit because Rolling 60s was getting out of control. Rolling 60s was attacking everybody. So two blood gangs, or a blood gang and a Crip gang, got together to get against whatever. Y'all see what I'm saying? So she had a reputation, a notorious reputation. Everybody from 60s knew who she was. Everybody from A-Tray knew who she was. She was not safe. So she moved to New York. And now guess what? Guess what she's doing now? Gang intervention. Violence prevention. Stop the violence movements. She just got promoted to a head counselor. Working with the city. Sheltering Arms. Right? No one gives a fuck though. No one cares. But she's with Sheltering Arms, working in Far Rockaway, New York. If y'all know anything about Far Rockaway, New York, it's notoriously dangerous. And she's out there in the trenches, pulling people out of that gang life, showing people a different path, because she was in it and she understood what they were going through. She had that understanding. She's in touch. But no one gives a fuck, right? No one cares. But she out there doing that, making it happen. Sheltering Arms. All right. Now what is my mother doing? These are just examples. My mother is in Chicago right now. Doing what? Well, guess what she's doing? She had a promising career, a very promising career as a photographer, Jet and Ebony magazine. All right. They're doing layoffs in 2008, between 2008 and 2012, because of the freaking market crash, right? And she was like their best photographer, but of course, layoffs had to happen. She got laid off, and she continued her career as a freelance photographer. She gave that up to start her nonprofit to help stop gang violence. Did y'all heard of Window? I told y'all about Window before, right? I mentioned Window earlier in this video. Women in need of discovering own worth. She got that cracking in Chicago. Been doing it out there for years. Flying back and forth to Chicago. From LA to Chicago. Because why is she doing it in Chicago? Because LA City and LA County didn't want to fund it. They didn't want to pick up the program. Her own city didn't want to pick up the program. She wanted to make a change somewhere. Guess what? All the little Hollywood friends that she was making while she was a photographer for the stars, they didn't give a shit. No. They don't care about black on black crime. They don't. You think they would help her out? You think they would help fund her movement? No. Bill Duke acted like he wanted to, but he wanted to take over. He wanted to be the head honcho. He wanted to do the shit his way. But it was my mama's pet project. She was real passionate about it. No, the media don't give a shit. The media didn't care. They don't want to highlight that. Not in LA. Not in Hollywood. So she took that shit to Chicago, where they accepted it with open arms. And she still has a hard time getting funding for it. It takes funding. It's a nonprofit. People have to actually care enough to put money into it. She's getting some grant money from the city, from the state and all that. But she has to match some funds too. But no one cares, right? This is the thing. If you don't know about it, why are you speaking about it? You want to act like no one cares? You want to act like the cops only kill hardened criminals or people with past, with criminal past? Let me explain something to you. Even if someone did have a criminal past, like George Floyd did, right? Went to prison 5, 8 times, however many times. He served his time. Did he escape from prison? Did he escape from jail? And he was walking around the streets like a fugitive? No, he served his time, right? He served his time, and even if he was on drugs, he deserved to die? I don't understand. We can't be upset about him dying at the hands of a cop because he was on drugs, allegedly. That cop sat on his neck for 9 minutes, during which time he did nothing. He didn't resist. He wasn't committing a crime. He wasn't attempting a murder. So what? I tell you, why don't we just do this then? Every time we discover someone's on drugs, let's just kill them. Let's just kill them. Slit their throat. Chop their head off. Shoot them in the heart. Because they deserve to die, right? Instead of, if someone breaks into someone's house and steals a TV, let's just kill them. Why rehabilitate them? Why even try? What are we talking about here? A cop kills a person an innocent person. They should be held to a higher standard. George Floyd was an innocent person at that point in time. He committed his crimes. He served his time. Okay. So he killed an innocent man. Derek Chauvin killed an innocent man. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the people who didn't have a criminal past that were killed by the police. John Crawford, Ohio. He was an upstanding father. He was going to Walmart to get his kid something for his birthday or something like that. He picked up a toy rifle, an air rifle that was on the store shelf. Immediately murdered by the police because some white folks didn't appreciate him holding an air gun. I don't know. He didn't have a criminal past. Philando Castile, he didn't have a criminal past. They tried to say he was a criminal because he had weed and a concealed carry permit and a gun. No, that's not a crime. Tamir Rice, no criminal background. He just took the orange thing off the tip of his weapon. Yeah, he shouldn't have been walking around waving around a fake gun in this day and age. But he was innocent. He was being a young, dumb kid. And instead of following the proper protocol as police officers, if you're a police officer and you think someone actually has a gun and they're a threat, you don't just roll right up to them right in front of them, do you? No. You stay at a distance and you try to de-escalate. But that didn't happen. Tamir Rice. But no one cares, right? No one cares about black on black crime. No, you don't care about black on black crime. You know why? Because if you did, you would know about these programs. You would know about these Stop the Violence movements. You know about these gang prevention programs. You would know about organizations like Window, Second Call. Nipsey Hussle. The day after he died, he was supposed to meet with LAPD and others to talk to work on that. Skip Townsend right now, working with my cousin, right? My cousin, who's a shot caller for Inglewood family, right? Blood gang. getting together with a Crip shot caller to talk about gang prevention. Is the media going to let you know about that? If you cared enough, do you think you would know about that? Window, WINDOW, women in need of discovering own worth. If you care, if you really care about black on black crime, why not reach out to Window? Why not reach out to Second Call? Why not reach out to Sheltering Arms in New York? And see what you can do to help make a difference. And just instead of just popping shit about this, that, and the third. How about if you have some influence, right? You black conservatives who keep talking about this black on black crime shit. If you really cared, why aren't you reaching out to these programs or programs? It doesn't have to be those programs. Those are the ones that I really know about. There are plenty more. If you really care, you black conservatives and you people who feel like black on black crime, no one gives a shit about it. People do march. My mother was involved in a march in Chicago and a protest. Protesting what? No, not police terrorism, but black on black crime, right? Black on black violence. That's what we're out there doing with the church out there. Yeah. Did you know about that? I don't think so, Pepin. If you don't know, now you know. Again, Second Call in Los Angeles. Sheltering Arms in New York. Window, Chicago. I'm pretty sure Atlanta has some. These other places. If you do care, put some shine on it. Reach out to them. If not, then what you talking about? I just want to know. So anyway, that's where I'm at with it. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. It is what it is. Everybody can speak on it. Say what you got to say. I'm ready for it. Y'all, I'm ready for it. I ain't like these. I ain't a black liberal. I ain't a black conservative. I'm a black freeman. You understand? I'm a freedom-minded, freedom-thinking person. But I also look at everything. I also check the nuance. I see. I don't look. I step back and see everything and see what I can make happen. I try to see everything. I'm not perfect. Okay? But, I can understand the misconception because, like I said, the media doesn't put a shine on this stuff. They're not going to because it's not divisive enough. They don't want to do that. You think you know that by now, right? But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Also, in Derek Williams' video this earlier today, this young, was it today? I forgot what the name of the video was. The young Navy girl, I forgot her name. But she said she turned her son in and had him locked up. I wonder what he did. Did he commit an actual crime? Or did he commit a victimless crime? If he committed a victimless crime where he left no victim, like maybe he smoked some weed, I don't know. I don't know what he did. I'd like to know if he actually left the victim before she locked her own son up. That's what I want to know. This is a question. Anyway, holla at y'all. Much love to you. Peace out.